He's loaded up and ready to go. Raining. Rained all night last night, off and on, you know. Rained kind of hard for a little bit, but mostly just a slow rain like we're getting now. Let's walk over here, we'll see what we got. Not as much as you'd like, 7/10. That's better than nothing though, I guess. Bright and early. 6:42, 60 degrees. Just missed 4 deer crossing in front of us. I tried to film them, but you know, I'm too slow on the trigger. And the camera wasn't on. It happened pretty fast. We stopped and they hopped across the road and right up into the woods over there. Yeah, it's almost 7 o'clock. The sun should be up. Skies should be clear. It should be a pretty day, but we are driving in a rainstorm. Well, it's not hard rain, but we're driving in a storm. And even with lightning and thunder, we don't do that very often in the mornings. Yeah, that's a sunrise I don't get just every day. Pretty stormy. Well, I've driven down, see what it's going to do. Good morning from beautiful but rainy southeast Oklahoma. Welcome to Flyover News. Yes, we are Flyover News. Man, we finally got the rain we've been needing. We've got 7/10 of an inch overnight so far, and it's still raining off and on. I caught it at a moment when it's not, but it's been raining all day, all morning. And so we appreciate you guys tuning in to watch our channel. You know, we've had a lot of exciting stuff going on this last week. Among part of it is a fire, a major fire that burnt at least a square mile and a half, closer to 2 maybe. A ton of pasture, trees. It did not burn any houses. It did not burn any animals or anything like that, but it burned up a lot of stuff. And it had 4 fire departments out, Wilburton and 3 other towns, neighboring towns, 4 volunteer fire departments, and they fought it for a long time, got it out. It did not get on our place. I'm spoiling you, I should leave you hanging, but it got within 100 feet of our place. But we drove through a lot of what burnt, and I wanted to show everyone. And you know, we kind of do this stuff for ourselves too. We like to document what happened, and we watch it someday when we get even older, because we're already old. But anyway, appreciate you guys tuning in. We are Flyover News. We are a small farm and ranch in southeast Oklahoma, and an even smaller YouTube channel. So if you guys see content like this that you like, farm and ranch content, you're in the right place. If you like all the snazzy stuff, maybe not. But anyway, thanks for tuning in, and we hope that you like it. And all you guys that subscribe and watch all the time and comment, we appreciate all of you all very much. You guys have a great day. Thank you. Okay, so we're coming back here. We're in our middle pasture. And it's the one where we replaced the fence just recently. And so we ended up with, this is what we cleared out of the fence line. You know, it's tall as I am or taller, pretty good sized pile of stuff. And we're gonna burn it this morning, see if we can get it all to burn. We got the burning utensils. We've also got 26 gallons of water in the back of the Ranger and the spray rig and all hooked up. But anyway, so we're prepared. It's 8:30 in the morning. The wind's not blowing right now. We know that it's gonna blow. It's blowing in a front. It'll be, by this afternoon, it'll be blowing 30, 40 miles an hour. So we're gonna get this burnt as quick as we can. And it's supposed to rain tomorrow and the next day and all. So we wanna get this done and out of here. So this pasture will be clear when we start putting cows in here. So anyway, that's the plan. We're being super safe. Normally we wouldn't even take water, but I think after the experience a couple of days ago, we decided we should. Fire girls are gonna kick it off, and we got a cedar tree, a little cedar tree we cut down that's in there. That'll be as good a place to start it as any.
Which way are you going? Which side will you be on? Will you stand and watch while all the seeds of hate are sown? Will you stand with those who say, let his will be done? One hand on the Bible, one hand on the gun. One hand on the Bible, one hand on the gun.
A little bit of breeze and it's starting to take off now. I think we got it. Fire girl's down, she's raking up little sticks and stuff. She'll put them in all those tubs and throw it all on here as this starts to burn down. We work together good. I'm kind of a do the big 90% stuff, you know, and she is a detail person. You know, she was a teacher and all. She is detail. And so she'll go back and she'll spend a couple hours raking all the little sticks and stuff that, you know, you inevitably have when you clear out the fence line like that. Anyway, she'll get all that picked up nice and neat. Wow. Wow, it's going up now.
Every day, things are changing. Words once honored turn to lies. People wondering, can you blame them? It's too far to run and too late to hide. Now you turn your back on all the things that you used to preach. Now it's let him live in freedom.
It all burnt down pretty good.
Lives like me.
9:30 and already that wind's picking up. We've been burning it for just under an hour.
What have you become? All your olive branches turn to spears when your flowers turn to guns. Your olive branches turn to spears when your flowers turn to guns.
Just a nice day. The temperature's perfect. You know, it's 68, 70 degrees in the morning here and beautiful, but the wind is coming up. So I'm glad we got this done when we did. Okay, we're in our back pasture, back here by where the oil and gas lease is. We're gonna go look at all the stuff that got burned up and shoot a little bit of video of it. I'll put it on the film. So this is the lease road that runs out to the back corner of our property, or close to the corner, to the east side of it, east end of it. And so there's 35 acres carved out of what would be our whole quarter. We got the rest of it. And we're going to come up here and go through a cattle guard that will take us off our place and onto the other 35 acres. Okay, so the creek has turned and it's running east right here. After running all the way across our property from east to west, it turns and runs across the back, and we own on the other side of the creek down there too. And so this is our cattle guard back here, the lease road cattle guard. Okay, and so we're on some different people's property. And actually it's two different people's property. It's drive up here a little bit and I'll show you. Okay, this leash road runs east, and on the other side of this barbed wire fence is our neighbor. And in fact, Harvey and his cattle are way farther over that way. So that caught on fire. It's still smoking down there. And you know, it burned up a little bit. And so right back there is our cattle guard we just drove across. And this side burnt, and it burnt bad. We're gonna look at it when we get on up there. So this was burning down this way. If this had kept going, it would have got onto our side, but they got it stopped right up here, and it did not make it onto our property. There's just enough room between the creek and the road that it could have got on, and once it got on, then it you know, Katie barred the door, burned down the oil and gas well, whatever, you know. So we'll drive on up and look, because it burnt a lot up here. I mean, this was not a small thing. Okay, we're driving through. So like I say, on this side of the road is our buddy that's got Harvey and all. And on this side of the road, we know these people too, but it's a different owner. So I'm gonna get out. You can see out there in the distance, there's still hot spots and stuff still smoking. This burnt a long ways, but then it burnt way east, another mile or so east of all of this. And, you know, they worked on it for a long time to get all this out. Yeah, a lot of hot spots. So again, this pasture here, he's had cows on it, but it's been about 3 years since they had cows on it. So it was, you know, waist high in weeds, cuckoldburs, every kind of weed you can think of. It was a terrible looking. I mean, it looks better now than it did before the fire, which is hard to imagine. Had some lumps of wood piled up in there, and so it's going to burn for a while. This road's terrible. Oil and gas lease roads, you know. It's terrible. Out again. Okay, so with the bridge out, we would go this way to get on the east side of the bridge. We came this way every time. You can see out through there, and this road turns and it runs back to the north, and it goes up a steep hill down there, you can see, and through a gate, and then there's pasture way over there where Harvey is. And so we would come around this way and feed him carrots, and we shot some video. You've seen some video of that. And so, but it also goes this way, and were some other oil and gas wells still down there. I don't know if there are, but I don't know if you can tell, this burnt a long ways, and it's still smoking way down there. It didn't all burn, but a lot of it did. But we're gonna turn, we'll go down this road and see what else it burned. This fire was Sunday, and this is Tuesday, and it's still smoking bad. It's still got a lot of hot spots.
You can see some flames right there.
Yeah, it's burning right there. See, you just can't tell. I just can't capture it. It goes for close to a mile that direction. We've looked at maps, and we know where it burnt to. We've looked at, you know, section line maps and all that. It burnt close to a mile that way before it's all to get to the end of it. Again, this is what happens when you try to burn off a pasture that's thigh high, waist high, that wasn't baled or cut or anything last year, and house. So it was a north wind that blew it, that pushed the fire all down through here. A lot of these trees won't come back. A lot of them will. Again, the creek where it turned and ran north, it's down on the other side. The creek stopped it from going farther west, and farther west would have put it on our back part of our property that's behind the creek. Yeah, you can see that it's
Creeks between those two white.
creeks between those two signs down there. I don't think I got it zoomed in tight enough to see it. So you see where they got it stopped up here, what that looks like. And that's actually grass there. This back here was worse. But they got it stopped here. You can see that waist-high stuff blowing in the wind there. That stuff is flammable now.
I can walk out in there and show you how deep it is.
Yeah, no, it's waist-high for sure. That stuff goes up like, and that's what a lot of what that was. But they got it stopped over there, like right in here. If we drive on up here a second, we'll turn around and I'll show you. I don't think we've ever put any of this on any of our videos because it's not our property. We know the people, but it's not ours. There's an interesting old International tractor that I guess they drove it till it stopped, and it's been there a lot of years. We've seen it, I know 10 years it's been sitting there. So that's the house that was up there. This is on Wilverton. There's a hill, a big hill on the north end of it, and this house is across the hill. So right over those trees is the town, and the guy that owns that house owns a lot of different businesses in town. When I rent equipment, I rent it from one of his businesses. He's pretty well known. Anyway, I'm sure he had a good view of all this fire coming his direction. Okay, we're headed back to the north where we came from. I think I'm gonna drive out across all the burnt part over by the creek and look at our side. Okay, this is where they got it stopped going to the west. So there's the creek. This creek has run east and turned down there by our cattle guard gate. Now it's actually, the wind's blowing it to the south, but it flows to the wind's blowing it to the north, but it flows to the south, and it flows into the creek that comes out of Robbers Cave. Anyway, we own on the other side of the creek over there, all of that, and it's on the other side. If you're on our property and we see a hill, I always say there's a mountain, and we go up the mountain sometimes to see what's up there, or I do. And then if you come down the mountain, you're over there, and we own that stuff over there too. It's about 20 acres total. It's in two different lots. But anyway, yeah, this was quite a deal. It's all switch cane and all that stuff, and right along the edge of the creek. It's amazing they got it all put out at all. So yeah, there's the creek again. So we've come back through our gate, and like I say, the creek, the wind's blowing it, but it flows this way and around and then down to the north. And like I said, we own on the other side of this creek too. And all this switch cane, if it had got over in here and it got within about 100 feet, if it had come through here and burnt down through all of this, then it gets into our pastures and and whatever else. It gets exciting then. But they got it stopped. And the fire girl and I have talked about burning all of this out on this side, a controlled burn. If we do it though, we're going to bring water and a tractor and tools and stuff so it doesn't get out of hand, and we burn it. But we'd like to burn all this switch cane, all this stuff out, because it just gets worse and worse every year. And I think burning it out's about all you can do. Okay, so I have had for the last 10 days or so the worst case of, it's not poison ivy, it's poison oak. The worst case of that stuff I've ever had in my life. I mean, when we cleared out all that fence line and all the stuff, that we did the last couple weeks ago, I got bad poison ivy. I've never caught it in the winter before. I mean, it dies back, but I guess if you cut into all those vines, it's still gonna get you. I don't know. I've never had it this bad. It's kind of hard in the winter. You can't see it. You know, the leaves fall off of everything. Everything looks like a vine. So I mean, I even had to take steroids. I took prednisone to get rid of it. It was spreading violently, and I mean horrible. So anyway, I've got some gloves that I wore 2 pair of gloves while I was doing that. So I'm gonna wash all these gloves. I've washed everything in the world trying to make sure I don't get it again. And let me show you what I've got. Okay, they'll sit in there for a couple of days. See how clean they get. Okay, me and Cooper are down at the bridge, and so I've shot this 2 or 3 times trying to explain what's going on, and maybe I can get it again. So I'll give you the end story. The end story is all this blacktop between here and the bridge has to be redone. They're either going to pour on top of it or they're going to take it out. It's all off grade. So you can't hardly tell, but this, where I'm standing right here, my feet are about 7 or 8, maybe a foot lower than the old blacktop. And this was supposed to be the same height as the old blacktop. And so, I guess. So it goes on down to the bridge. Well, you can see, I'm trying to hold this camera perfectly level. It all slopes this way and it goes up to the bridge. It was supposed to go a gradual decline to the bridge and then on across. And so, what happened is, I like the guys, all the people that did the work. You know, he's a good kid and everything. These modern bulldozers, they go by GPS. They punch in the coordinates that are in the drawing, and then the blade works on the dozer, and it just cuts it all to that elevation based off the GPS. Well, the drawing was bad. Whoever the engineer was that drew it, I mean, this slope's really bad. Over here, this is 2 feet lower than over there, and it's real low through here. So the engineer drew it bad. They had bad numbers in. I've got a brother that's an engineer, and as he says, as we know, you put bad data in a computer and you get bad data out. So for whatever reason, it's messed up real bad. In fact, if you look, see how high the bottom, the base there is on the fence posts compared to this. The fence posts are a foot higher than the blacktop. Well, they're supposed to be the same height, roughly, with a little ditch between them. So anyway, county commissioner and everybody says they're going to tear all this part out. The other side is okay. It came out like it's supposed to, but this is all messed up bad. So, you know, it's one of those deals. Everyone's finger pointing, of course. I mean, I'm not. It's not my deal. But it's, you know, the guy says, I built it like you gave me the plans. You got engineers that drew it and gave me the plans, and that's what I built. And, you know, the county commissioner and other people are saying, well, you know, if you get out here and it doesn't look good, you need to say something. You know, you need to not just build it. So there's probably both sides are right, you know, but at the end of the day, I guess they're going to tear it out. The engineers are still trying to decide if they're going to tear it all out and start over, or if they're going to try to overlay it and fix it somehow. So I guess they'll come up with a plan. In the meantime, they were supposed to start putting the guardrails on the bridge, and the guardrails are going to come out to right in here somewhere close to this. I don't know if they're going to do that now or if they're going to wait. I don't know. Okay, me and Koopy have driven out to the back where we had the big fire yesterday. You saw it on the video. Man, that's great. It is all burnt up. It did super. You know, sometimes it doesn't burn quite that clean, but there is just very little bit. That's only about 3 or 4 inches in diameter, 3 inches in diameter. All that's, and it's still hot. I'm still feeling heat right here. Got one fence post in it. I'd seen the fence post right at the end of the day yesterday, and it was all hot, so we just left it there. That is awesome. We'll kick all those back up on top, let it all burn. The rest of what it'll do today will just sit there and simmer, and then we will take it, and whatever, anything left, we'll throw it away, put it on the next fire or something like that. Fire girl will rake it all out. She likes doing that, and we will call that. As I finished shooting the video and speaking, we drove in here, and they pull up with the machine that's going to poke all the holes in the ground for the guardrails. So they are going to put the guard railing in even before they fix the pavement problem. So I guess they got to figure it out. Okay, we're back. I'm back. We're both back. I was here before, now by myself. Now we're both here, so we're not both back. I'm back and she's not back. She's here, but I was back. Am I saying that right?
Yes. In a roundabout way.
In a roundabout way? Should I leave that on there or should I redo it?
I don't care.
Anyway, so yeah, I knew she got that all piled up nice, and we got some rain. We got, not a lot, maybe
I had 2 tenths in
we
the
got
rain gauge.
We got 2 tenths since I was down here this morning and looked at it. We got 2 tenths, but it's still smoldering, still smoking. So we'll see if it'll all burn up. Okay, here's another day's report. I know that we're spending a lot of time talking about this bridge, but they are about done with it. So they've got the guard railing up, and what they've done is they come down here. This part they will fill full of concrete tomorrow, and that's deep. That's at least 3 feet deep, and got anchor bolts in it, so that will tie down right there. So I guess if you're coming along and you get your tires on there, the idea is it'll try to turn it toward the middle. Yeah, or it'll launch you, one or the other. So they've got all of it up on all 4 corners, and it's looking in pretty good shape. The very last thing they'll do is move the fence back, obviously. So they're going to sod grass this next week, sod all the grass, pour all that concrete, and come back and cut the grooves in the concrete on the bridge and stripe it. But sometime they've guaranteed within the next 2 weeks they're going to do something that they don't know what. The engineers are still trying to decide, but they're going to do something to all that blacktop that's too low and that we talked about. So we'll wait and see what they do. But anyway, the bridge it's open to local traffic. People are going through it and everything, and they're going to put speed limit signs up. No one seems to know what that speed limit's going to be, but I hope it's slow. We don't like people running through here at 50 miles an hour.